Hello, everyone. It's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here, and I have Sandy returning for a third time for what I hope is going to be something that we could do once a month or so with her busy schedule. And we're calling this Ask Sandy. Welcome, Sandy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show, Nikki. It's been a little while.
It's been a long time. I think the last time that I had you on the show, you were with Chris, and we had to make that funny silent film because I messed everything up.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I have a new program. It's worked great for Ben's Day, so I'm hoping that this is going to be a much more successful, though that one people liked, but much more successful interview.
Right.
So you've had a lot going on, but one thing I want to go back because before we talk about Gamescom, I want to go back to when I was there to talk to you in February. And we spent an hour talking about Star Citizen stuff and about job related things. But I noticed when you were there, you were so busy trying to set up Gamescom. Do you remember the issue that you were having back then? It was like the placement of the booth or what? What?
Yeah, there was business booth
Yeah.
placement and the show floor booth placement. And
And you were really being, I admire you because you are one of those women that doesn't take poop. It's like, and you're like, we don't want to be in this area. If they're not going to put us in that area, we're not going to have a booth. Do you remember the whole thing?
yes.
Okay. What was going on back then?
Well, it was kind of interesting because we obviously had a relatively small booth, but I like things a certain way, and you kind of have to keep pushing sometimes to get what you want.
And did you get your way?
We did.
Okay.
Uh,
Hard
yeah,
work, right?
yeah, both booths were quite successful, and that was really great.
Right.
So
So while I was there, I got to be the fly on the wall, which was the best day I could ever spend because, we had our thing going where we were talking about, private stuff that I was trying to do with CIG, and I got to be the fly on the wall, and I noticed how I think Chris was flying back from Manchester that day, right? He was coming back, and
hmm
everybody was waiting for him, and Ben was sitting there just waiting for him because he had to put out the letter from the chairman. And Chris had to come back and write it. And that was like one of the things I was like, oh my God, he writes his own letters. That's so freaking awesome, you know?
he does. He
Yeah.
writes his own letters, and then it goes out usually to myself and Ben and a couple of others, depending what the nature of the letter is. And we give our input, but it's written by
Do you
Chris.
have a lot of proofreading to do?
Yeah, I've actually become a really fast reader. I never was before, but when you receive a couple of hundred tickets in your inbox every day, emails, you have to get quick.
All right.
All
So
right. So
one of the things that we have going on here is Goei, Goy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He wants to know. He must be from an trying to speak English because it's how did Sandy recognize the media feedback from Gamescom? So now we're bringing all the way forward to Gamescom. So what would you say that the media feedback from Gamescom for Star Citizen has been?
it has been incredibly positive and great. I mean, the we had one Rocky press interview, which was the very first one. Can't exactly remember who it was, but it's always like that when you're coordinating everything on that first day. And not that it was bad; it was just trying to get everything going. But all the rest of the press were like really blown away, which is a great thing because I think they probably see so much stuff that they're not that easy to please. So it's very nice that they were genuinely like, wow.
Okay. So how important to CIG, to Cloud Imperium Games, to you, to Chris, is that those demos are actually live demos and not like, I guess it would be scripted demos that other companies might put up.
That one was done there was a lot of play testing on that one in Manchester, in Austin, in LA. So, I mean, we did it twice up on stage. So it's basically live and, because it was all in engine and everything, it's not like staged, so to speak.
Right.
That's what really excites me is because we were getting pretty close. to delivering that.
Okay. I know, and I think the importance is that it is live and that it isn't staged because the game, there's some naysayers out there about the game, but it's not about the naysayers. It's about the people that have signed on and how they can look at it and say, "Oh, that was Ben, and that was all the guys from CIG in Frankfurt and in Manchester playing the game at the same time." And that was a good thing. It made me, or I should say, it impressed me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a week or two before the actual Gamescom event, we had a lot of the UK staff were super excited by it. Same with the Frankfurt team. Like all of the teams were really excited by that, and that made me feel confident because when all the teams were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing,"
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
that is a good thing. Vedendar wants to know, how do you manage to market the game on what must be a shoestring budget?
Thought you were just going to say, "How do you manage?" and then that was it. That's kind of the question. I mean, look, it's a lot of kudos to the community, to be honest. I mean, the Chris definitely interviewed other people for my position, and my proposal, I think, was a little bit out of the box because I wanted it more to be like about the community and viral marketing, and I didn't want to do any paid ads or any of that stuff because I don't think it's appropriate. We're in development, and I would like all those who want to come along for the ride and not pay anything are free to do so because we share so much content. And then, if you make the basic pledge or you want to go further, like with our Vanguard today or whatever that may be, that's great too, but it's all optional. So I really focused on, I guess, that grassroots sentiment of getting the community together. Originally, the golden ticket stuff is, you're not pledging anything. It's about, do you share this passion? And come October 10, I guess we found that a lot of people did because we famously crashed our websites.
You've done it a few times.
Yeah.
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 So you're saying like this the whole thing about the shoestring budget is really it's the backers that deserve that kudos because without them you wouldn't have that budget to market the game. And
yeah, I mean it's like we just did a little social media post today to join our Twitter, to join our Facebook, our YouTube channel. And people sharing videos, making video. I mean, all of that. It's basically word of mouth is kind of the strongest thing, right? So that doesn't cost me anything. It's, do you believe in the project, or you got friends who are interested in the same genre as you want to do either the MMO, the social. I mean, everything's coming together now, so this is exciting for me. But yeah, I mean, that word of mouth doesn't cost me anything. So it's like, if I tell my friend, "Hey, oh my gosh, you should join Star Citizen. It's super cool. Check this out." And we often have free flies or try this ship out for free. Then, I'm not really spending money on that.
Right. Do you guys see a sizable uptick after like an event like this year's Gamescom?
We do. And we customer service is so swamped because we got thousands of new backers, and so they all email in and they're asking questions, and I mean, it's a nice problem to have, right? But yes, we absolutely do. We actually have done that every year from Gamescom. We also, after PAX East and South by Southwest this year, we had a really big bump in backers. So, and again, the events, it's minimal budget.
Yeah, well, and
between ticket sales and sponsors, I do it on almost nothing.
well, yeah, I hear that, and that is one of the better successes that you have is getting those companies that don't see a finished game on board. And we'll ask a question about that in a couple seconds, or a minute or two. Notable Joe wants to know. CIG's relied mostly on word of mouth advertising to keep up as much funds, dedicated to the game development as possible. As we near release, Will you start utilizing other sources of advertising, or are you going to stick with this, crowdsourced marketing that you've been using?
Right. Well, that is good question, because yes, right now it's just what I described,
Right.
which was
Crowdsourced marketing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yes, I mean, as we near release, which is kind of, I'm preparing all of that now. You need some lead time. It is slightly different, and so we will look for more traditional forms of advertising. However, having said that, there's also a lot of partners who are interested in kind of floating that cost
Okay.
for us.
Then that's a very interesting question, because we're going to have some questions about this at Star Citizen HOTUS, and really, you don't have a lot to tell us yet, right? And we know that it's coming, but we don't know much more than that right now, right?
No, I've been pushing for the timeline of that, and we will hopefully be releasing that timeline at CitizenCon, if not sooner.
So
But
when a company like Saytech signs on to make a controller for Star Citizen, that's a large investment for them, right?
it is quite a large investment for them, and we looked at quite a few different companies of what kind of deal it would be, a mutual deal, obviously, and they were the ones that were really keen on integrating with Star Citizen and making it about Star Citizen, not just doing a keyboard and sticking a Star Citizen logo on it, but actually integrating it into our world and our game, which is, I think it's pretty cool. So
I like that they're doing it kind of like with our input too, because we could say, hey, we want one with 2 joysticks or whatever, and they might go in that direction. The second part of this conversation or a question should be, a company that's willing to invest that much time and money, because it's money to prototype things like that, and then it's money to manufacture, has to believe that the project is going to be fulfilled, that it's going to come to its fruition, right? So what's the feeling that you get from them? Like, what are the types of things that they tell you about the project right now, about Star Citizen? Like, do you talk directly with them and they are high?
I do. I mean, we have a head of biz dev,
Okay.
but I also, obviously, I work closely with him, and so we get a lot of partners wanting to do stuff with us all the time, but it's then just selecting. We have the new one with Intel.
So these are companies that have already vetted you and said, yes, you're in a position that they believe that you're going to have this game done and finished. So they're putting their money up where their belief is too, correct?
Right.
All right.
Same with AMD. We've been with them now, I think 18 months. So that's been, fun. We've had lots of people come on board, new backers and some existing backers.
Okay.
With the AMD ship, the Mustang.
All right. I thought that was a wonderful promotion that you guys did. It got it into the hands of people that might not even have thought about Star Citizen. They get this ship that was part of that graphic card and just happened to start playing. It was good. Marcus Impalman, he's one of the Colonial Movers. You know them because they were on stage with you. It was Marcus, right?
Yeah.
He wants to know, what's your biggest challenge of marketing, specifically while working on the crowdfunding? God, I'm sorry, guys. I am really tired right now. Sandi knows what I've been through, but yeah, what's the big, specifically working on a crowd-funded project? Are there unique challenges not present in more traditional business models?
Absolutely. I would say, because I've done marketing in other areas, not specifically gaming until now, that it was a real eye-opener for me and challenge, in as much that I have a plan, but if the development is delayed for certain technical reasons or whatever those may be, that kind of messes with my plan a little bit. It's like if something's going to release on August 10, and then I find out 2 weeks before that it's not, you build up a campaign and then it's not there.
So do you want to turn around and smack toast right now?
Stop making noise.
He's doing it on purpose. Toast, you are the
I
loudest
enjoy,
person I've ever had in the background.
I enjoy sharing an office with Toast,
I
but it's
love
probably not
Toast.
best for
Yeah, Toast
podcasts.
is amazing. If anyone ever gets a chance to go to CIG, you have to meet him. He is a wonderful person. Just not right now. No. So Captain Gloom, who is one of those people that has spent a year's salary on the game, I would take it.
Wow.
She wants to know about the events. Like right now, we've had a Citizen Con in Austin. We've had a Citizen Con that not everyone's going to be able to get to in Europe, and I don't believe that's the case because we have to take care of our European backers as well as the U.S. Are we going to see one of a more sizable amount of people, like maybe Crash in Vegas or something like that in the future?
I think yes. Um, the issue that I see is it requires, I mean, it's a lot of bandwidth. So right now, um, it's, to have 5 or 6, like to do a BlizzCon style event, that takes some serious.
You guys are that good. This is a hard question, Captain Gloom, because she's just finished up Gamescom and she still has Citizen Con ahead of her. We should have asked that question 2 months after Citizen Con. you know, it's like,
Yeah, well, I mean, we're slowly increasing it, right? I think the first Citizen Con was 200 people, second one was around 400 or so, and
yeah,
this is close to 800.
yeah. Well, what we want is like 5,000.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're looking for, and I think this is the last one I will miss, and I didn't miss it because it's in Manchester. I missed it because financially I just wasn't in that position this year. I think it will be awesome. Premium Shank, who is one of the other people that came up for the costume contest, that's Renegade Shank. We call him Reaper in our group. He's in the enablers, so we won't talk about what he does for us. He wants to know, is it possible that there could one day be miniatures of Star Citizen ships, like smaller ones, about the size of a Hot Wheels car? Can you get, and with all these printers that they have, the what are they called? The digital printers,
3D
3D
printers.
printers. Those seem to be easy. I mean, even Blizzard and other companies like that, they use the 3D printers for their statues, right? For their people. Is that something that we could expect to see for these ships?
I have been asking about those, and so far, like I tried to do a 3-inch version of the Connie model, that detailed, and it's some of the detail needs to be taken out. So I don't know if I need to have the artist do another render of it.
Yes.
This has a few less polys and a little less detail so that we can get those 3-inch ones. I mean, right now I'm working on the collector's boxes, so I'm dealing with all of that.
I think that is something that you're going to have to do, and I don't think the artists are going to be like, okay, let's do that right now.
Right.
Yeah, but that is something that we all want, and it's not. People have their own 3D printers, and we've seen it in the forums that they have made their own 3D prints of different ships, and they look amazing when they use the models. But I'm sure they're in the engine trying to tone them down to make them look good, also.
Right.
And Jen Cargo wants to know: have you voice acted in anything before Squadron 42?
Yes, but not a video game.
Okay.
So, I mean, Squadron 42, I'm voice acting and full performance capture. So it looks like me and it sounds like me.
Did we get a cameo of Chris this time too?
I don't know if he did a cameo, actually.
He has to do a cameo.
I don't know if he did. I really don't know.
That's not cool.
I know.
Yeah, well,
I didn't ask about
you
that.
have to bring him back to Manchester and shoot one. I mean, the Wing Commanders wouldn't have been that, especially Wing Commander 3 without him, right? And I think it was 4 also. Omnicrom Zero. Why is it that we haven't gotten a new ship commercial? Now, I don't want to say this is just Omnicrom. There are many of you that asked this. People are craving a new ship commercial. So I'm going to just take an aggregate of all the questions. Please, can we soon? That's what they're saying.
Yes. I have a meeting for a more gameplay-oriented trailer because now that, Social just came out, FPS is very close, multi-crew is right on its heels. And all those together, we're starting to see what Star Citizen will be. So new gameplay trailer, I think, will be first up. And then it's the toss-up between, I think we have the Retaliator commercial on deck and the Avenger commercial on deck. But these are would be coming into the new year.
Okay. That, of course, because Ben's already told us what the ship schedule was, and we know that the Avenger and those are later on, after 2.0 comes out, I think. Freebirth wants to know, what has been your favorite experience that has been part of your job overall? And what do you enjoy most day to day?
Okay, so my favorite experience overall, maybe it was the first Gamescom event.
Okay.
It was just something really special because it was tangible and real, and before that it had just been emailing all of these fans on the forums or on a CS ticket or hearing stuff or receiving a letter, but that isn't the same as actually meeting people in person, meeting people that you've been talking to, making actual physical connection with a friend that you've had on the internet. I mean, it's a completely different experience, and it was, that was super cool. I really enjoyed that. And what was the other question?
What do you enjoy most about your day-to-day job?
Day-to-day job. Well, I won't lie when I say that it's tough. It's not an easy job.
Been there, watched her work. It's not easy.
It is not easy, and there's a lot of saying no as much as I say yes. Because a lot of people have ideas, but I have to steer my ship in one direction. So that means making a lot of decisions and executing them.
Okay.
I think what I really like about the day-to-day thing, though, is it's like the interaction with the fans is so close, it's so visceral, that it's just really cool. It keeps me engaged every day because I'm like, this is why I'm doing this job, because they're right there, and you get mostly from our fans, it's really positive feedback, and that's just, it's just priceless. It's an amazing feeling.
Okay, we're down to the last 3 questions, and the last one's mine.
All right.
So I don't think we can answer anything about the CCU system right now because Ben has said that's still in testing. It will come when it's ready.
Yeah. Got that in progress.
Yeah, and Skull wants to know. I'm going to skip his first question because that's a Ben question. I'm going to ask Ben that, and it's about Auction House and being able to trade ships. He wants to know, do you see yourself going back to an acting career in the future?
I do.
I know that answer, right?
Yeah, you know the answer.
Yeah.
I do. I've never actually had a real shot at it. I know that might be, I'm a late bloomer. What can I say?
You.
Because I just never realized that this would be such a, I don't know what to call it. So, I don't know. It just snowballed, right? It just suddenly became.
You're talking about the job that you're in now.
Yes.
Like people don't know how you fell into that job, and it's mainly because they probably didn't watch our first 2 interviews, and you'd explained that twice, right?
Right.
She never applied for the job; it just fell in her lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so I do see myself going back to that. We had been looking for over a year for somebody to help me or either take my place. However, it's not that easy to find, and I also want to deliver on what I feel is I've promised to the community.
Awesome. And last one from them, and then we'll go to mine, which will be more fun. Selby LaGrill wants to know, in what way will CIG and SATEC be involving the community on feedback for the HOTUS and controller products recently announced?
I am hoping that they will do it quite a bit. They did intimate as much when we were in process with making the prototype, and they were actually very forthcoming, and it was great working with their design team and our team. And they are fully aware how open we are and how feedback with our community basically works in our favor. It's what we do. It's what we're about. We like to share our information with you guys, like we've been doing for 3 years. And so, yes, I'm pushing for that.
So we could expect a forum being opened up, and that's what Ben said, guys. Just so you know. So we.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really want that, and I really want those designs, if possible, to be available for people to see, and some options of, is this important? Is that important to you guys? I know we've done those polls before, but actually having that prototype is a little different from.
And maybe this is something that's going to come into being after the update to the forums, the community involvement piece. What's that called that you're going to be rolling out?
The community hub?
Yes, maybe that's something, right?
Mm-hmm.
This would be something perfect for the community hub. All right, so Sandi announced that she's coming to Atlanta, right?
Yay, I'm really excited about that.
So you know Dragon Con's a big cosplay event, right?
I do, but that you just said it was warm before we started.
Well, just stop it. You want to be an actress, you got to put up with heat sometimes, right? You got to dress cold in the summer, and you got to dress hot in the winter, right?
I've been there before in the California Ocean in the swimsuit, and yeah.
Oh, California Ocean in a swimsuit, even in the summer, could be cold.
That is true. That is very
That's crazy. But
okay, so yes, I am going to. Where is my pirate suit?
do you want the pirate suit, or do you want to do?
I could do Eva.
I don't know. So let's see. Okay. Is there a way we can pick? Bring both costumes. You'll be there for 2 days.
That's true.
Saturday and Sunday?
If I were. Yes, I'm there Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so that's good. And Saturday night, just so everyone knows, it's impromptu. It's not scheduled. Last year, Ben, David Haddock, myself, and a bunch of people that we just walked up to and said, come join us, crashed a place called Sidebar, which is over by Georgia State. And we're going to be doing the same exact thing this year. Only this year we know about a secret weapon, Uber.
Nice.
Uber will drive us there instead of walking all that way. But look for it. I'll be tweeting out on at Star Citizen AA where we are, and I hope that I am wherever Sandi is at all times, because last year I was wherever Ben was at all times. So that's one thing that I promise you guys. I'll make sure you know where all the fun is happening.
I am sure I will be right by Ben. Ben, myself, David Haddock, and David Ladyman.
Yep. And I think David Ladyman brings his son there, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Sure. Yep. All right.
Anything else? Anything fun coming in the near future, or is it just wait and see what happens in October?
CitizenCon and beyond, I am super excited about, because I'm seeing the content start to really gel and come online, and I'm like, oh yes, it kind of makes my job a little easier,
Okay, this one went a lot longer than I thought it was going to go, Sandi, and I apologize.
That's all right.
I think I think the two of us probably have an energy level of about 50% right now. So, yeah. And internet is back, I see, so that's great.
It is.
All right.
The great internet outage happened yesterday. Yeah. It is over.
Yeah, when a workman cuts a cable. Yeah, that's wonderful. All right, well, Sandi, I hope we can get you to do these once in a blue moon. I know your schedule, people don't understand it, but your schedule is probably one of the most tight ones outside of Chris's in the company, right? Because you're going everywhere. So if we can do this again, that would be great. I'm saving some questions for when they're more relevant, folks. I'm sorry. It wasn't that I didn't like your question. It's that it didn't have the relevancy today. With that said, Sandi, thanks again. It's always a pleasure.
Nice to see you. Good luck with all your studies. I know how hard that is.
Yeah, you'll see me next week. Hey, bye, Toast. Yeah. And guys, with that said, sorry about that. I'm going to pass out. I'm sorry. With that said, you all be safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.